Welcome to Cheers. I'm your host, Avery Woods. Hi guys, welcome back to the Cheers podcast. I'm your host, Avery Woods, and today I have my favorite guest of all time here.
Hi.
The man, the myth, the legend,
don't.
David Christopher Woods. Who's got the sunglasses on. He's got the Angry Ball, which if you don't know is Angry Orchard and Fireball. It's David's signature drink.
Because I need to get drunk and you gave me a black eye, so.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Not me getting arrested for domestic violence. What the fuck?
The boat gave me a black eye yesterday,
let's be for real. We were on the boat yesterday and David hit his eye on the surfboard hanging up and it gave him a black eye. Which you're being a little bit dramatic. It's not really a black eye.
It's not bad. I'm just trying to be cool. You're wearing glasses that serve no purpose, so I'm wearing mine.
Mine serve a cute purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess yours make you a little bit more
fashion.
attractive. Okay, so listen, you guys wanted a relationship advice episode, and I loved that idea. So
I need to be more drunk for this.
Why?
Just because it's easier to talk when I'm intoxicated.
Oh, please. No, you talk too much when you're intoxicated.
Well, that's exactly why that makes it easier.
So we did a little Q&A on my Instagram, and you guys submitted a bunch of questions. So I'm reading them in real time with David. I did not have time to prep for these questions in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to go over them together.
Let's do it.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Relationship advice questions.
Yes. Are you drunk already?
No.
Oh.
I just can't say relationship.
Okay. How does he manage to have such a hot wife with massive tits? Real question. Scott,
How is this relationship advice?
I don't know. I just wanted to know.
Is that really what? Let me see that. Who said that?
Danielle.
Oh, no. Next question.
I want to know
Next
the
question.
answer.
We'll read it again one more time.
How does he manage to have such a hot wife with massive tits?
I make her laugh, and I snagged her up when she was 18 years old.
I was still...
Case closed.
I was like hotter there then with real massive tits.
No. You get more beautiful every day.
Fine, I'll suck you off tonight.
No.
All right.
God. What? Literally, that was cute, and you took it there. You took it there.
Sorry. It's just in my nature, okay? I can't be serious.
One of your many great qualities.
All right. Let's see.
The tits are massive, though.
Yeah.
The tits are titting.
Best thing I've ever bought for myself. All right. Big D, how was EDC Las Vegas?
So much fun.
That's not even a relationship question. I don't know why I asked that.
But it was so much fun. Great time.
All
Won't
right.
be going next
No
year
one wants
because
to
I'm
hear
getting
it.
old. Yeah, someone wanted to know. I'm considered at my age a rave daddy.
How old? What's the cutoff?
I think like anything over 25. And I'm 25.
A 26-year-old is a rave daddy. A
That's-
26-year-old man is a boy.
Well, but in rave culture, which I know very little of, most of the people there are very young. And yeah, I'm an old man. Can't even make it all 3 days of EDC, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he loves EDC. For me,
I love EDC because my best friend loves EDC. So I go for him.
that's true.
It's good bonding for us.
We need to know what David's biggest relationship advice is from a guy's perspective.
Biggest relationship advice. Even if you're right, don't be afraid to apologize.
That's a great... Yes, that's very true.
Because
I will say...
we're men and we're always wrong for the most part.
I mean, there's certain things that...
No, I got...
You haven't apologized for that I'm like not that you haven't apologized for it, that you didn't come to me first about, that I'll like bring up to you and apologize. But you are like, out of any man I know or any relationship I know, you are always the best at saying sorry or admitting where you were wrong in the situation, even if the situation wasn't caused by anything you did. And I think, because obviously we've been together since you were 24 and you're now 35. And I mean, we've talked about this. I don't think you were fully mature until you were like at least 30.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of growing in our relationship where you still had maturity.
Yeah.
That was being grown into, and also like relationship maturity. But you have like grown into just the best husband ever.
I think that's like, a relationship is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we were talking just about this a couple weeks ago in that Like the person who you were when I first met you is not the person you were 8 years ago. It's not the person you were 4 years ago. It's not the person you are today. And the same goes for me as well. And I think that it's acknowledging that as a partner and then understanding like, hey, you need to be able to grow and you need to be able to accept who your spouse is as we both like go through life together and grow together. And understand that, new faults may appear, but on the same note, also positive qualities will present themselves as well. And it's appreciating you for who you are in each stage of your life and how you change and grow, just like you do for me. So, like, I think that's like, I can't expect to be married to the woman I met 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be married to that woman, quite
Yeah.
frankly. Like, who you are today is so much more than who you were then. And it's just appreciating that. And also, I think a big thing that men don't do is like voice the appreciation or voice like those qualities and those things, which I think is a big thing for women. So, and for you especially. So yeah, that's kind
I
of.
also think it's important to grow, because a lot of people will start having issues far into a relationship, but I think it's just important to prioritize growing together
Yeah.
as you get older and not growing apart, because I think it's very important to grow as individuals
Oh yeah.
too and like work on yourselves, but also you have to incorporate each other. You can't just forget about the person that you're with.
Yeah, I think when we were first together, we were in a sense so jealous of each other that we didn't want to spend any time apart from each other, which was in a sense
we
like,
were a little possessive.
but that was a great point that you made, that like we need to grow individually, but overall the umbrella is that we're growing together, even on our own individual endeavors, but we have our goals together and everything like that. I think we
Yeah.
veered off the question, but
Yeah. How does David feel about / react to the hateful comments you get? He seems protective.
oh man, how do I feel and how do I react? I'm not on social media, so I don't
Yeah.
like really get a lot of it, and
Unless I tell you.
unless you tell me. And I mean, part of it's just,
Which honestly, I feel like I rarely tell you.
yeah,
Unless
you
it's
don't.
something that like I laugh about or I'm venting about, I just block the person and move on. I don't need to like dwell my whole day around it.
Yeah, that's something that you've really gotten good at, is filtering through that and being able to compartmentalize what's true and what's not. And
You
just,
also have recognized in the past that if I really let it affect me, you notice that it like affects my mood the whole day.
yeah, if there's something really bothering you, one, like most of the time, you're not one to come to me and be like, hey, let's sit down and chat about, I'm feeling bothered today.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of have to elicit it out of you because you just
Mm-hmm.
stuff it down and continue on in life. That's just the type of person you are, where you're always, you give of yourself before you expect others to give to you in return.
Yeah.
But as far as like how I feel about it, I mean, one, I know it's not true. And I've always been kind of like a, let the water roll off the duck's back type mentality. Like it doesn't really affect me too much because I know who you really are, and like your circle of influence, the people that are close to you know who you are, and anybody who's met you or met us, they can identify quickly the type of person you are. So I try not to let it really bother me. If it's really bothering you and bringing you down, that's when I get pissed off and shit starts making me mad.
Or like the boy mom video that got David
Oh
so
my
riled
God.
up because he's
The
like,
boy
I
mom.
know the mother that you are. And I think that's what it is. It's when my character is questioned, the type of mom I am questioned, using my kids for content, exploiting them, all that bullshit.
Don't
David-
get me started on exploitation shit, or I will
David
lose
gets
my mind.
David just gets really mad because he just knows it's not true, and he also knows that's just not the type of mom that I am.
We're-
And I do think if David had social media, he would definitely be clapping back with these people. But again, obviously,
it's good I don't.
Yeah, obviously, it's one of those things where I've been doing this for so long that I know, what matters and what doesn't. And all that matters is the very small, close-knit family and friends that we have around us know who I am. And at the end of the day, everyone's going to
Yeah.
have their own opinions, and that's fine, but we have each other and we know who
But the
I
opinion,
am.
yeah, the opinions are just that. They're only opinions, and that's how it's somewhat easy for me to deal with if it's not affecting you, is that I know they're not true. I
Yeah.
know who you are as a person, and everyone around you knows who you are as a person, and everything that you do has been for our family and for our kids. And the shit with like exploitation of children, all this kind of bullshit, like the hate comments that come with that, like for money or whatnot, all that kind of stuff. It's so beyond ridiculous that, see, I'm going to start getting pissed off now, actually. So we should stop, because it's like, for me, the way I think about it, people hate on you, but you have done so much for our family, for your children, for your children that aren't even biologically your children, that like people can't even measure that. And so many people would be, if they had you as their like spouse or in their lives, would be so appreciative and grateful, because I know that for a fact, not based on my own opinion, but because of what everyone around you says and what you do for them, behind the scenes. But yeah, the way I deal with it is, I don't know, smoke a joint and drink a beer and move on with life. I guess. Can we say
Slay.
that?
Advice from David
Yeah.
Woods.
I mean, the
Yup.
things you do for us in this, you can look for a question. I'll keep talking. But the things, yeah, the things that you do for us has given me more time with our children than I've ever had in their lives. It's giving us more opportunities as a family than we've ever had in our lives. It's, in the short span of a year, set our children up to not have to worry about things like college, homes, stuff like that. And so it's just, what you're doing for us is so great that, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't.
Well, that's it for the day, folks. My cup is filled.
I need to do this more.
Yeah.
This is, so that's a good point for like what you can do,
Oh,
man.
no. We had to beg David for months to come back on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
It's all in there. It's just, I'm not a great person at like vocalizing it to you all the time. And I need to be
Aw.
better about that.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, let's see.
We're getting so off topic on questions.
I
but
know.
Whatever.
Apparently we're both ADHD. That's okay. We're just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
Chit-chat.
We'll chit chat.
Like relationship therapy.
Yeah.
Kind of love it.
I mean, coming up on our anniversary here in a few days, so
8 years married.
we should open
What'd you
our
get me?
anniversary presents right now.
Should we?
No, because I have a special dinner planned, so we can open them.
Oh. Can I vlog it?
Of course.
Okay. What keeps you guys grounded?
Grounded.
I'll answer
What
that.
does that mean?
to
I feel
start.
like we're grounded.
We are. No, like what keeps us grounded?
What keeps us grounded?
I think
what would be
David and I prioritize what's important in life, and that's logging off our phones, me putting down social media, not being sucked into the social media world, and looking around at my kids that are growing up really fast and what we have as a family, and living in the moment, but also, preparing for our future. I also think David and I have a very unique situation where this was not obviously always my job. You weren't always a stay-at-home dad, and we didn't have a lot of money. We both came from very hardworking, underpaid careers.
Yeah.
And so we always think like, oh my God, our life 3 years ago looked polar opposite to what it is now.
Yeah.
And that can always be us again. So we just, work really hard and take advantage of what we have. We're also really responsible, but we don't forget where we came from. We didn't, neither one of us came from money. Our families did not have a lot of money.
Yeah.
They worked hard and we had good childhoods, but we weren't privileged like our kids will be privileged.
Yeah, that's good.
And we also find it, we've talked about as our kids get older and they're gonna have to work hard. Like I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be buying my kid a brand new BMW when they turn 16. Can we afford that? Sure. But are they gonna get it? Fuck no. Like, and we've talked about how you know, if our kids are making good grades and responsible, making good decisions, then they can focus on school. But if not, like, and they're wanting to do things, they need to get a part-time job.
Yeah.
And, you know, we want to prioritize college. Like, we want our daughters to both, our two oldest we're talking about right now. We told both of them, like, we'll do whatever dream wedding you want, but we want you to go to school and
So just make sure they're
prioritize that.
pursuing something
Yeah.
something out there past like high
Yeah.
school general
So
education and stuff.
we also want to keep our kids grounded. So I think we just remember what we came from, talk to our kids about what we came from. Like we had the conversation with Ziggy really for the first time a couple weeks ago where he wasn't eating his dinner because he didn't want it. He was being picky, and we were like, there are kids in the world that don't get meals. Like he's like, they go to bed with hungry tummies, you know?
Oh yeah.
So we just,
I went to bed with a hungry tummy when I was
yeah,
a kid.
yeah,
It's a conversation you and I have had many times when Ziggy knows how to pull my strings if
yeah.
he's hungry in
Because it
bed because
triggers you
I
as a
know that.
child.
It reminds me of when I'm a child. But
Yeah.
no, I love what you said about like where we came from in just a short, excuse me, a short period of time to where we are now. In that, like, we have this conversation probably once a month when we're just talking and reminiscing on our past or like what we've been through in our previous careers and everything like that. But like also at the same time, every time we have this conversation about your previous career in nursing and my previous career in law enforcement, it's never met with like, oh my God, I can never go back to that. I will never do that again. It's always been like, yeah, if this all went away tomorrow,
We have the
I'll gladly
opportunity to go
I'll
back.
gladly go back to that. I
Totally.
loved what I did.
And we also are grateful that we have those careers where we can fall back on that because not a lot of people
Yeah.
have something to fall back
We
on.
both loved what we did. You reminisce about nursing all the time and how
Oh,
much
I
you miss the
loved being a picky
children and the
nurse.
families and all of
Yeah.
that. And, you know, I was in law enforcement for a long time as well. And all the relationships and the influence I was able to have on people that I interacted with on a daily basis, I miss that. But I recognize and I'm so thankful for the fact that, like, if you were to ask, you know, I think any father who wants to be involved in their children's life, hey, do you want to go to work 40 hours a week? Or do you want to be with your kids during the most impressionable years of their lives? Never miss the swim meets, never miss the dance recitals, never miss the holidays.
First day of school.
After missing those for
Yeah.
12 years,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll gladly hang up the vest and the uniform to be able to spend that time with my children.
Oh, yeah. This Christmas was the first Christmas in I can't even remember how long where not only did not usually we celebrate Christmas on like Christmas Eve, 2 days before Christmas Eve,
The
sometimes
day
the day
after
after
Christmas, like
Christmas,
it was, yeah,
because one or the other of us were working. I
every
worked
holiday.
6 Christmases in a row. And then, you know, David also worked like swing shift or day shift, or we'd celebrate late or graveyards, so he had to sleep. Like there's so many different things. So just to be able to wake up on a holiday and have it be
Have a
all of
holiday.
us and
Yeah.
my parents and my sister, like that's a very rare occasion where that's like an every year thing for families. We are
Yeah.
not used to that.
Like this was my first
Thanksgiving.
this was my first Memorial Day weekend,
Oh yeah.
us as a family being able to spend together
Yeah.
since 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Yeah.
yeah, these things are special to us. And I
Yeah.
think we recognize these things, which keeps us grounded in the
Yeah.
sense of like how appreciative we are of everyone else who isn't fortunate with what we currently have. But also we know that it can be fleeting, and you know, we are okay with where we came from
Yeah.
and being grounded in a position where we can take care of ourselves if
Yeah.
we have to go back to that.
Same with like certain things that we buy. Like when we bought our boat, we were like, what the fuck? Like we thought we were gonna be using the Adkins for the rest of our lives to go on their boat. Shout out Adkins, we love you.
Yeah, for reals.
But like we never in our wildest dreams expected to be able to buy, obviously not a boat as nice as ours, but even like a quarter of the cost. Like we'd never.
We've been so fortunate to buy nice shit.
Oh yeah,
And it's
so
it's been
fortunate.
so nice. But like at the same time though, we've made sure we kept ourselves in a position where that shit can go away and
Totally.
life can carry on without a hiccup. But even the stuff we're buying now, granted, we bought the jewelry and that stuff like that. Some of the things that we've invested in because we've wanted to have those for ourselves. The majority of it is spending money to make a better quality of life or better experiences for us as a family.
Like traveling and that kind of thing.
The biggest reason I love the boat is because a minute into getting on the lake here in the Valley area, there's no cell signal.
Yeah.
And it forces anybody on that boat to put away their phones and just be together.
Especially me, because I can't stop working. And it's like, I also feel like it's the only way for me to really escape.
It forces you to have
like
to
reality.
escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. It's the boat purchase made it where when we were on the boat, we are a family and that's all we have.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just there as a family.
Yeah, I love it.
Which is what we want.
And also it's getting so off topic, sorry, but as I've
question.
like my platform has grown, my social anxiety has gotten really bad, so I don't like to leave the house a lot unless I like really have to, or we're on a date or something. And so when I'm home, I'm like on my phone working, but if I'm out, I'm recognized.
Yeah.
Which is, I love meeting, like anyone can attest. I always want to give you a hug and ask your name. Like I love meeting everyone.
Yeah.
But I think I just have developed this like extreme social anxiety. So the boat is like not just my escape from my phone and social media and working, but also from like the world, like a community. Like I can be out in nature and no one knows who I am or stops me or takes photos while I'm shopping or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying
we've still had a lot of boaters yell at us.
Yeah.
Avery.
Yeah, people have recognized this. But I don't want to be like, oh my God, I'm Beyonce. I'm so famous. It's not like that at all. I just have a very large community of followers here in Arizona, like local to me.
Yes, and we love them all.
And we love them. But the boat is literally like my escape. Yeah. And I love it. That is one of my favorite things that we've been able to purchase. But
next question.
Yeah, hopefully that answers a fucking question. God damn.
How are we so grounded? We bought a boat.
Yeah. No,
that's what it sounded like at the end, but that's not the reason.
No, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Don't listen to us. With y'all's age gap, how did y'all work through that? And how did you know that you were the one?
Two-part question. The first part I think is really easy. Women are incredibly more mature than men.
Yes.
And so the age gap definitely didn't level the playing field. But it gave me somewhat of a little bit closer of narrowing the gap. So I think that was that in itself. Yeah. I mean, hence why, I think if they did them polls that the majority of younger women now are going for older men.
I also think that people like weirdly think we have this insane age gap. It's
17 years. Wait, what? I'm just kidding. 6 years.
Not you starting rumors. So first I gave you a black eye. Now we're almost 20 years apart. Got it. No,
spilling my drink.
We're only 6 years and some change apart. And it's so funny because people think that's like insane. If you're a 30 and 36-year-old, how is that weird? Like that's not, I don't know. So it's not super big. So I think for the maturity thing too, it is very important to realize like men are very immature.
Yeah. I'm 36 and I just like spit all over myself. So.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Oh, how did you know I was the one?
Go check out Hunter Prosper and that will give you the answer of how I knew you were the one. I'm pretty sure that was how he asked.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he asked us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How do I remember that?
Go to Hunter's video. We love you, Hunter. Come back. Come hang out with us. Okay, this is a good one. What to do when you want a baby and your partner doesn't / is not ready?
Oh, well, this goes back to what I think is like the big three before you ever get into a serious relationship or agree to be in a serious relationship with someone. You need to agree on your faith, your finances, and your children. And so if you establish those three things pretty early on and you are on the same page, not to say that things might not change over time, then I think you're off to a good start. Try to get to the root cause, I would say, of why that other person doesn't want to have a child or doesn't want to have a child at that time. Like for me personally, it was never so much about not wanting to have children with you. It was the timing of that and me being concerned over finances. That's always been like a trigger point for me that caused me anxiety is like we can't financially afford a child right now. Or like if I felt like we were fighting for time with each other, me being a very like realist individual, the thought of having a child meant I would have even less time with you. So that was an issue. But I think you just have to have those conversations. And if it boils down to just bad timing because of finances, health, something going on in your career at the time, you're renting a studio apartment and you should probably have like at least a 2-bedroom or something like that. Try to come to a mutual way to resolve those issues so you can have children, because children, they're fucking awesome and horrible and the best and the worst all at once.
So true.
I love having children and sometimes I hate having children, but overall I love having kids.
David and I were sitting in the shower the other day. He was like, I just love our children so much. Like, I don't think you realize how much I love them. And I said, yes, I do, because I'm their mom and I love them just as much.
Yeah. I will literally go from one moment, and we'll get back onto the conversation or the topic, the question. But I'll go in one moment like, oh, Ziggy, I love you so much. Of course, I'll give you 2 more minutes of scratches. Because he wants scratches every night when he goes to bed. I scratch him for almost probably half an hour every night.
Yeah, every single night.
And then he always gets me to give him 2 more minutes. That's what he says. And then a couple nights ago, or it might have even been last night, after the 2 minutes, I say, okay, it's been 2 minutes. Good night. He goes, 1 more minute, Dad. And my like subconscious wanted me to say, shut the fuck up and close your eyes. But you can't do that. You shouldn't do that anyways.
Yeah,
so yeah. But anyways, the other part of the question, what that was it, right?
Oh, like isn't ready. My thing too is I'm like, did you guys have this conversation before you got married?
Yes,
if you
that's
are
what I was gonna go
married,
to.
because they can't
Exactly.
exactly change their mind. I feel like if someone tells you what you want to hear and that like they want kids, but then you guys get married and the person actually doesn't. We also have known people in the past that one person said, I don't want kids, and the other person secretly did, but they said, yeah, I'd be fine with no kids, because they expected the other person to change their mind when they got married, but that person didn't. You can't do that. You can't expect the other person to change if they're being honest about their thoughts, because we have lots of good friends that have been married forever and like do not want children, have no interest in that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like that's totally fine. But I think don't give an ultimatum, but I would say just give it some time of when your partner's ready. But if they don't have the same values as you and you are prioritizing having a family, then maybe you guys aren't meant for each other.
Yeah. If it's a hard, fast no on one side and the other side says, absolutely, I want a family of 4 kids, then you know that that's going to be a major issue in your relationship. And most likely it's not going to work out. Now, if it's like what you and I were, where when we, had this conversation and you're like, yeah, I want a big family. And I said, well, I'm bringing 2 kids to the picture already. Yeah. I want to have children with you. I just don't know what that number is going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say your issues before were finances, we're doing fine, and then not seeing each other, but we have help. So why won't you give me another baby?
Because you cut your tubes.
I could get pregnant again.
Oh my gosh.
So seriously, what's your reason? I want to know.
I'm complete. And
What about me? What if I want more babies?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess we're adopting a child or something.
Adopting? I can't get pregnant again.
How does that work? I can't get you pregnant.
Pregnancy sex is the best. Oh, artificial insemination would be so easy.
Oh my God.
They just shoot your sperm to an egg and...
Okay,
we'll talk about it.
No.
Yes. Okay, how to keep things spicy after being together for so long.
I don't know how to answer that question because it has never, ever been a problem for us.
I think it's because we are just very like affectionate, intimate people. And also I feel like our love has just grown. And I think if you are satisfied in your relationship when it comes to like mentally, not physically, like you guys fulfill each other and you're happy and you're complete, I feel like that makes the intimacy continuous and like stay that way. Yeah. Because I'm not going to be in the mood or want to be intimate if I feel disconnected from you.
Yeah.
So I think over time, every relationship gets comfortable like that. But are you still putting in effort to keep the intimacy?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And then on a simpler side, I would just say don't wait until 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, Dave and I have gone the
Like,
routine. It's like, put the kids down, have sex, and then we can enjoy the rest of the
yeah,
night
or
because,
throw in a couple nooners, a couple
oh
wake
yeah,
up in the morning
yeah,
quickies, like
a little
get
staycation
a
here
little
and there.
variety in there here and there,
Yeah.
and that helps keep it spicy, simple and spicy,
Mm-hmm.
and just don't be tired. Like,
Yeah, that's the hardest
men, a
part.
little pick me up. Like, if you're tired in the evening, and usually it's the other side though, huh?
What? I'm
Usually it's the guys that's always wanting it, and the girls
yeah.
like whatever. But men, if you drink a little cup of coffee, I don't know if that works for women.
That will also get you pregnant with
Research
a
it.
boy because it makes your sperm swim faster, your
But
boy
yeah,
sperm.
just
I
don't
think that's a rumor. I don't know.
don't sink into the couch and whip out the phones. You gotta
Oh
prioritize it, and you
yeah.
literally there's times where we're like, it's not like we're like, oh, we're feeling it, we're gonna get it on, yeah, let's go, and there's like all this foreplay and like build up for it. No, it's like, okay, it's 8 o'clock, the kids went down, we really want to watch this movie. Well, let's go take care of business and then
And
watch the
like, what is it
movie.
really going to take? 30 minutes with
Thanks,
that?
babe.
Well,
Building me up. I
that's
like that.
including my that's including my
Scotty's dying.
that's including my post-sex shower and skincare. So I would
Our
say
post-sex shower.
yeah, 15.
Afterwards, shower together. That's when
Yeah,
it's
I
nice.
like
And
that.
you have good conversations.
Sometimes we have like a little recap like, yeah, you just ate me out so
That's a great
good.
point. Talk
And then
about
we
it
talk
too.
about it. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
great for
That's so
couples.
maybe not keeping it
Because
spicy, but
sometimes
like,
there's been times where I
yes.
was like, hey, I didn't like that kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that position was not my favorite. But I loved when you did X, Y, and Z. And he's like, yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
man.
No.
I'm the
Oh
fucking
God
I'm
almighty, I am not.
I'm
But it's
kidding.
good
David
in
is
the sense
not.
of like,
Sometimes you will be like,
try
yeah,
different
you like
things.
that?
Try
You
different
like
things.
that?
Try different things. Be okay with trying different things with your partner, and then be okay with it not working out and talking about it and
Yeah.
being like, yeah, that wasn't for me, or maybe let's try that again. And if like your spouse has something that they want to try that isn't like, painful or something, and they're agreeing to it and it's both within like what you want to do, then try it out.
Totally. All right. I feel like this is a great question. How to keep the relationship alive after having your first baby?
Yeah, prioritize quality time with each other. And then for the male half, make sure that you're taking responsibility with the baby and giving your spouse a break.
Also, for the male, please be empathetic to your partner who just gave birth because I feel like well, I feel like I know men have never experienced postpartum hormones and depression, baby blues. Your body just changed. You're in pain. Your boobs hurt. You're up all night long. You don't feel like yourself. Like, there's so many things that men will never experience that you don't know your partner is going through. And they probably won't tell you the majority of things that they're feeling because they feel like a failure.
Mm,
And I feel like it's important for men to appreciate what
yeah.
their wife just did or spouse, whoever it is, what their partner just did, the pregnancy, giving birth, breastfeeding, up all night. Like, be appreciative to your spouse. Tell them that they look beautiful and that they're
Yep.
doing a good job. Like, hearing that postpartum will make your entire week better. Hearing that from your spouse because you feel disgusting and you're so tired and your entire life just went upside down. So I feel like that is huge. Communication between the two of you, helping as much as you can because you don't want to resent one or the other if you feel like you're not getting help or your guys' responsibilities aren't equal when it comes to the baby. That's a big thing too.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how you choose to like parent, is that right? Like, what I'm trying to get at here is like, are you formula feeding, you're
Yeah,
breastfeeding,
yeah,
stuff like that? That may inhibit the other half of the relationship to their involvement at specific
but
times.
it's important to
But
ask.
yeah,
Like, if don't be the type of oblivious male that's like, oh, my wife breastfeeds. Well, she also can pump, and she
yeah,
probably has milk if she's pumping, or she can pump while you give a bottle so she can relieve her boobs, but then she can go back
yeah.
to bed. It's like
Or
let him
yeah,
change the
or
diaper
if like
and burp him.
like if you're so adamant about like you want to breastfeed through the night or you're solely breastfeeding, you don't want to introduce bottle feeding at the time, then adapt to that on the other half of the relationship and say, okay, like I acknowledge that and I'm so appreciative that you're doing this for our child. So I want to make sure like at these other periods of time, I'm affording you the ability to go take a nap. I'm going to take the baby out of the house and on a walk. Like I'm going to force you to have time for yourself, which I think goes back to, I mean, the question is how to keep the relationship healthy. Is that what it was? Something along those lines. Filling each other's cups so you can, so that way you can like
Yeah.
take care of each other and that your
Also,
relationship is full.
Also, if you're able to, when you're ready to leave the house, try to get a babysitter, even if it's every couple weeks, just go on a
Yeah.
date so you guys can have time away from your baby and, keep your intimacy alive. I also was thinking when you were saying that, there's one moment postpartum that I'll never forget that David did that it literally meant everything. And it was after Stevie was born, and it was the first night home from the hospital. So I had a C-section like 48 hours prior. And I don't start pumping personally until usually around 8 to 12 weeks because I overproduce. So I didn't want to get clogged ducts. So I wasn't pumping at that point. So we obviously didn't have any breast milk for David to give Stevie a bottle or anything. So I did all the feeds overnight. We had like a little bassinet, and I remember David got up in the morning with Ziggy because that was my thing. Is I was like, I don't even care about help at night. Just watch, prioritize Ziggy during the day so I can get a little bit of sleep in the morning,
Yeah.
and I can try to take naps when Stevie naps.
Mm-hmm.
With Ziggy, he only had 3 days off, so I did everything pretty much solo. But with Stevie, he got, I think, like 6 weeks off or something.
I
4
took a good
weeks.
amount of time
Yeah.
off. I can't
So
remember
it was
exactly.
amazing to have him home. But first night home with Stevie, I obviously was up all night doing all the things, and she was only 3 days old. And I remember him waking up in the morning, and she was swaddled sleeping, and he came and kissed me on the head, and he said, "You're doing such a good job, Mama." And I just,
I
makes
don't
me want to
remember
cry.
that.
Yeah, well, I just remember it, and I was
Oh,
like, that's all I need
sweet.
to hear, like it makes it all
Yeah.
worth it.
Words of affirmation, build each other up.
Yeah, and it's just your hormones are all over the place. You're literally, you can't even imagine, like, Googling how many hours of sleep do you need till you die. Like, that's literally what I was doing because I thought I was going to die. Like, that's how fucking tired I was. And then just hearing that was all I needed because it's like he's over there fucking snoring as she's sucking on my nips all night. And I'm like, fuck you, bro. But just hearing that, that's all that matters. So I think it's just important to keep encouraging each other. And like I tell David all the time, he's literally the
Yeah.
best dad in the whole world.
You're with the baby, you're in survival mode, not to,
Yeah.
Beat a dead horse, but that's not the time when your relationship is going to be like just,
Yeah.
bouquets of flowers and balloons at a
No.
party.
No.
It's a very difficult time. I say this to all people that I know that are in relationships when they talk about like, oh, like, yeah, we're talking about having a child, but the relationship isn't necessarily in the greatest place. The first thing I always say is a child does not make your relationship easier. It makes your relationship more difficult. At least in the beginning,
Totally.
because it can turn things upside down.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot
Especially
of
with your
effort from both
first.
of you.
Once you have one baby, you kind of know what to expect. And obviously, as you add more kids, sure, you have more responsibilities and
Yes.
life gets busier, but you have the gist of like, okay, we can't have sex for 6 to 8 weeks. You're going to be up all night. Your tits are going to
Yeah.
be full. Like,
You know what to expect.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But whoever said that question, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, you
Get
guys are
through
going to be
it.
fine.
You guys just
Yeah.
love on each other and kiss that little baby and smell their head.
Oh, see, just one more.
The way they smell,
They're so yummy.
their little heads.
Stevie still smells so good.
She
Ziggy's
does.
losing it because he's a wild little boy.
Yeah,
but
he stinks. He's a stinky little man.
all right, it's draining having to ask him for dates and to get me flowers. Help. The fuck? Tell him to get it together.
I mean, I want more backstory on this question, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
First of all, you shouldn't have to ask to this person. I'm not gonna say your name.
But like, if I don't want to speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. And like, love languages, as far as love languages go, Like gift giving, that's like a huge thing for you.
I like to give gifts.
Gift giving for me is not.
It's not, but it's not the same for me. I don't want to receive physical items. I like something
You like
planned.
words of affirmation.
I like
quality
something planned.
time.
Like if he,
yeah.
I don't care. I don't need you to go buy me a Cartier bracelet, but
Who told you?
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But I want to feel remembered. Like I don't want to have to be like, oh, our anniversary is coming. Like, what do you want to do?
Right.
Like he went out of his way to plan the Hawaii dinner for our anniversary since we'll be there as a family.
Yeah.
But I do think learning each other's love languages is important. So he might be just so oblivious and he forgets until you remind him.
That's like what I'm trying to get at is that it takes dedicated focus on my part to make sure that I'm doing physical acts of kindness and physical special things for you, like buying you something, getting the flowers, writing out the card. That's not something that comes like just naturally and easy to me, and it's something I've had to work on. And so that may be this person's, that it may be difficult for them because it's just not it's not something that they're thinking about, or it maybe not be something that's important to them, even though it should be if that's what their significant other is wanting. I would say don't beat him with a broomstick about it, but
also, are you bringing it up to him in like a mature conversational way where you can be like, hey, it hurts my feelings that you don't give me flowers, and I would really love to go on like consistent date nights.
Yeah.
How would it be easier for you to remember? Like, should we go out every other Saturday or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
Because some men are just dumb.
Yes, okay? Yes, we are dumb. We are dumb men. That is for sure. And if that doesn't work, then order yourself a bouquet of flowers with a card that says, "Been thinking of you." Leave them on the counter.
But then she'll get in trouble, like she's cheating.
No, she'll keep the receipt. Just be like, "Hey, I did this to show you, dummy."
Oh,
what's up?
I thought you meant like from someone else, like make him jealous. And I was like,
Remember, like when all those flowers showed up? I can't remember who sent them to you. It was when was it? It was birthday. It was your freaking birthday. Okay, I love you, all the brands and people that support us. But if you keep fucking one-upping me on the flowers that you send my wife, like I can't compete with $1,000 bouquets of roses.
It was First Aid Beauty sent the most gorgeous bouquet. But then it was for Christmas, Smith and St. My management team sent me the forever flowers in a travertine thing, and I looked it up and they were like $900.
And I'm like a Trader Joe Safeway flower buyer. But let me say, hold on, let me finish.
I just want to say, I don't care how expensive they are.
I know, that's what, if you let me finish, it would be the point.
Sorry.
What I can say is, first, to finish the first part is, I tried to be like, oh, do you see the flowers I got you, babe? And she was like, no, I know those are from First Beauty. But on a side note, which was very special to me, and it shows it's the small things that like are impactful in a relationship that really build each other up and make people feel valued, is on our dining room table was my little shitty bouquet of flowers in the crystal vase. And on the counters, like tucked away, was all these like magnificent bouquets from the people that you've worked with that love you as well. But I love you more in many different ways. You do.
And it's also just, it's not about how extravagant they are. It's the act. Even if you got a $4.99 bouquet from Trader Joe's, that's still beautiful. But women don't care how extravagant they are. It's the fact that they were thought of, and that guy had the idea, or girl, whoever you're with, to do that for their partner. I think that is what makes it special. Jessica, am I good? Am I okay?
The best bouquet of flowers is the flower your child brings you. Like when you're at a park.
Oh, our kids do that all the time. Oh, Mama, I picked you a flower.
Even if it's like a bougainvillea with a bunch of like thorns on it,
I don't care.
Cherish 100%.
that shit. My husband doesn't believe it's okay for us to go on trips without each other. What do I do?
Without each other.
I think that is a
like he won't even go on a trip without himself?
Yeah, without each other. I think that's
himself? By himself?
That's like a growth and maturity issue to me, and also a trust thing. until someone is mature and has trust in their relationship, they're not going to be comfortable with that. Back in the day when we were like psycho jealous, never in my life would I let him go to fucking EDC in Vegas by himself. The fuck, where women are like literally walking around naked with butt plugs with tails.
What?
He told me that there was literally women walking around, and like he
No,
can tell me this because
woman, singular, woman.
because I can hear this and I'm like, I just laugh. That there was a girl
I laughed too.
walking around with a
It was
butt.
shocking.
Can you stop interrupting me? With a
Sorry.
butt plug with a tail in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, slay, go her, like confident queen.
No,
but like
your follow up was like anatomically, how is she doing that?
I literally
Isn't
was
this
like,
a
dude,
long?
I fucked with some butt plugs, and there's no way that shit was staying in me all night. The fuck?
How are you holding that in for 8
and
hours?
standing up, like dancing to rave music. She's truly gifted. If that's you, good for you.
Like I'm sitting here right now clenching my sphincter, and I'm consciously having to make effort to do this.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. That's just sitting here.
Now let's multiply that for 8 hours. That's impressive.
Anywho's this. If he would have told me that like 7-8 years ago, I'd be like, you're not fucking going to EDC. You're insane.
Yeah. I think.
And then I'd be like, oh, did you like her? Did you talk to her? I bet you got her number, huh? That would be me. You know it's true. I was crazy back in the day.
We're all crazy in phases of our lives for sure. I was crazy too. You made me forget my train of thought with the butt plug conversations.
Sorry.
What was I gonna say? Oh, yes, this is what I want to say. If the individual trips are priority over a trip with your spouse or a trip as a family, I think that's an issue.
Totally.
Like our individual trips or things we do with your girlfriends, my guy friends.
Unfortunately, most of my trips are business. People think I'm just
out. You sprinkle in 1 or 2 a year.
I'm referring to like the hate I get because people think I travel all the time by myself for fun when it's
brand
really for
trips.
work.
Yeah, that's all work related. That's all work related stuff. Avery, you made me forget my train of thought again.
You said if you're prioritizing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. The individual trips we always do are pale in comparison to our priority to have trips as a spouses and as a family.
Yeah.
Because we make sure if we at least do 1 trip a year with just us, and then we do a few trips a year as a family, and then individually, like maybe 1 each.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Now, and I would say that's like a trip, like me going to EDC with Jesse, or you going with your girlfriends to Disneyland. Now there may be little overnighters.
Do you like how that's my trip of choice? Disney with no kids. It's the best.
That is every time you choose.
And David
Disney.
won't go to Disneyland with me without kids because he's a loser.
That is a lie.
You've literally said that sounds like my worst nightmare.
It does. Well,
so
actually,
why would
no.
I be like,
I take that back.
go.
I take that back. After we went to Disney World
Your
last
worst
year.
Nightmare? Let's
go.
No.
Disneyland, Disney World. I will gladly go back to Disney World.
Because of
Epcot. That whole experience was a lot of fun.
Disney World.
Shout out Disney Enterprise. Are they Disney LLC? Whatever they are.
I'm sure they're fucking bigger than LLC.
Yeah, Disney Cruise.
Yeah, you run the world, Disney. We love you.
Our kids love you too.
Oh,
Stevie.
Ziggy's already saying no birthday party. I want to go back to Disneyland.
Yep, and Stevie is obsessed with Minnie Mouse. Only will wear her Minnie Mouse Crocs.
And
wears Minnie Mouse
like
shit all the
time.
Now. She likes to be a princess. Ziggy loves being a princess. Let's go.
I want to take her to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boop boutique so bad.
Ziggy would love
he would.
Bibbidi Boppity Boop as well.
He loves princess dresses. What do I do if I'm still in love with my ex, even though he treated me bad?
Time.
Yeah. You gotta, if you know that they treated you bad, then I think it's just important to focus on that. And over time, you will heal and meet other people that will fill your cup and appreciate you how you deserve. There's someone for everyone out there. I'm fully convinced of that. There's so many people in this world. You just have to give it time to meet them because not everyone's going to meet someone super young.
Yeah. And don't even, I say, let the prospect of another relationship or another person like influence you to wanting to forget about this previous relationship you had. Focus on yourself.
Totally.
Just prioritize yourself. Prioritize your friendships, your relationships with other people, and then in the most casual way or whatever, that next person in your life will come and you'll move on.
Baby number 5?
Baby number 5. Are you making that up? Did Danny send that?
No.
Listen, I'm not opposed to another child. Here's
Did
my
we get
thing.
that on record?
No, here's my thing.
Thank you,
Here's my
Scott.
thing. I love children.
I know.
I do not love babies. I have never been a baby person. You can attest to this. So, like, can we cook that thing till it's like 3 years old?
Here's my
Actually
thing.
2.
I
2
get
years old.
I get the no baby phase because David really does bond with the kids hardcore, like 18 months to 2.5, like when they start walking, talking, getting a personality.
Oh, and then it's my jam. I fucking love it.
But you
little
have
sidekicks.
to realize I breastfeed for so long. I do the majority of the care as newborns, which is fine. I love doing that.
But I love you.
But I love you too. But now you don't have to work. I work from home. We're fine financially. Like, it would be a totally different experience.
I am working just in a different capacity.
Correct. So we're gonna need another employee for you to manage.
An employee.
And her name, if she was a girl, would be Willow.
I like the name. I like Willow for a girl, and I like Marley for a boy.
I can't have a Marley and a Ziggy.
Ziggy Marley.
Like, no.
Ziggy and Marley.
That, because then Stevie's left out.
All my Rastafari peeps out there know what's up.
I think for a boy, me like already planning.
What was how are we on babies again? What was the question? Oh, it was baby. Yeah, I can't even say that. Sorry, Scotty. Yep, keep me in line.
Oh, David, what's your favorite body part on Avery and why?
Oh, my favorite body part on Avery.
I just wanted to get a compliment.
Oh,
I think I know what he's gonna say. It's not my boobs, it's not my butt.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
You were gonna say my teeth?
No, it wasn't the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, what was it? My butt?
It was your butt, actually, to be honest. But that's because I'm a little tipsy.
So my butt.
Yeah.
Slay.
Your favorite body part and why? Yeah.
My favorite body part on you. Can I see your height?
Sure. That's like my skin, I guess.
Also your
I don't know.
facial hair and your hairline. Iconic. Not an ounce of balding in sight.
But I'm getting gray and old.
Yeah, but I love the gray. It's giving George Clooney.
Oh, thank you.
One more question. Then I gotta go film some ads before I lose sunlight. I think I know the answer to this, but we'll see.
Is it a question for me?
It's for both of us.
Oh, okay.
What's the most challenging decision you've ever had to make together, and how did you handle it?
You let me answer first. I'm curious if it's gonna be the same.
I have my
I need to go with the first thing that popped in my mind, because I think that a lot of times that's like what would be it. The most challenging decision we've ever had to make, and then what was the second part?
How did you come through it?
How did we come through it? I think the most challenging decision we've ever had to make in our relationship was, now I'm second guessing myself. I'm just going to go for it. When we were at a crossroads of moving back to Arizona versus staying in California.
I was thinking kind of along the same lines was when you decided to take a leave of absence from work and move to go help Grandpa. And left me in Arizona.
That goes hand in hand. That was very difficult.
But that we also were in San Diego for Grandpa, and that was when we were trying to decide if we were going to come back or not. So both are kind of in the same
I think
realm.
that was more of a hard decision for you. The decision for me was absolute.
Yeah.
When it was presented to me, your grandfather is either going to go into assisted living care when I knew what his desire was.
Yeah.
Or you have to go take care of him. The decision was easy on my part. I'm going to take care of my grandfather. I think the decision was difficult for us as a couple, as in, hey, are we going to navigate this period of time in a long distance relationship? Or do we need to make major changes because you're in nursing school and everything that was going on at the time for you to be in California? Thankfully, Grandpa was so awesome and you came out to California almost every weekend.
Yeah. But definitely selling the San Diego house was really hard for us.
That was difficult.
Yeah, those last couple days in the house were really hard, but we also I look back now and I have no regrets. I would never.
Oh, we made the right decision.
Yeah, our life would be so different if we were still there, and we it would just be, life would be completely different.
Yeah. Which I think, to throw in a little tidbit of advice for anybody who wants to, receive it, is that where you live doesn't give you the quality of life.
Yes, it's the people.
It's the people
100%.
around you and in your circle.
And
that
we
give you
had
the
no
quality of
one
life.
in San Diego, and so it was so hard. I was a new mom. We both worked so much, and we had this amazing house in an incredible city that people dream of living in. But when you don't have anyone to share that with, and your friends are only via text or FaceTime or like a road trip away, like out of state, you are so lonely. You're not fulfilled.
Oh, 100%.
And that's how we both felt.
Anytime we tell people that we came back to Arizona to live here,
they were like, "What the fuck?"
versus staying in San Diego, people just, they don't understand it. And it's just it's as simple as that. It's the people. Our family doesn't so much consist of blood. It consists of people who have really been involved in our lives and been present, and showed that they're provide family attributes to us, that they aren't just family by biology.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's it.
We made it. I just barely ran out of my angry orchard, and I'm ready for another.
It's been real. David will be back in 4 years.
Catch me on
so make sure you let us know what you want to hear next
on the Cheers reunion. 10 years.
Cheers 10-year reunion.
We've been what is it we've been watching? Dance Moms reunion.
Oh yeah, Moms reunion. I did make David watch that. David acts like he hates everything I watch, and then he's like, wait, what just happened? What'd she say? Love you guys. Cheers. Thanks for being here. See you next time.
See you later.